This is not your life. This is my life now. And you look after this life very well. And see that you do everything that pleases me. Do not waste or squander away anything. Neither your mental energy nor your physical energy. Because now this is my life. And I appoint you as a trustee to that life. The problem is solved. I become so happy. I have not to worry about anything. I get food, Meher Baba gives. I get a beautiful son, Meher Baba gives. I get a beautiful wife today, Meher Baba gives. Tomorrow the wife dies, he takes it away. It doesn't belong to me. How happy can a man become? You cannot imagine. I am telling you this, not out of hearsay. I have gone through this. My mother was the next person to Meher Baba whom I loved most. And she was in a deathbed. And I looked after a number of days. And I got so tired that night at 30 past 11 o'clock at night. I felt very exhausted because I had to do much of Baba's work and attend on her also. And there were many others who were sitting nearby, but she wanted me to sit. I was very exhausted. I went and had a half an hour sleep. The people said, his mother is on deathbed. He says he loves mother so much. And how does he go and how can he get sleep? I said, yes, I will go and sleep. This is how Baba keeps you attached and detached both. Apparently attached and substantially detached. Or you can put the other way. Apparently detached and substantially attached to Meher Baba. And apparently attached to the rest of the things. Or apparently attached and substantially detached. Any way you can accept. I don't know, there is no cause of your unhappiness at all. Why should you be unhappy? When he's out to take your responsibility. But the thing is, like one man, he's out to give his responsibility, but he's got great reservations. A man comes and says, Meher Baba, I want to surrender you. Take my wife, my children. I'll keep. But please see that my bank account is intact. Very clever. A bank account is intact and all the responsibility he wants to, he wants Baba to shoulder them all. So this way of renunciation is no good at all. So what is the story you said? Because no questions are forthcoming.
Well, you said earlier that there was a point in time when Baba proved to you in a certain way that he was top. And you were going to tell the story, but then decided that it would be better to tell it.
I joined him in 1922. And Gustaji was the man who was once a disciple of Sai Baba, then became disciple of Upasni Maharaj, then became disciple of Meher Baba, and under the instructions of Meher Baba, he observed silence for a period of nearly 37 years. He was older than me and the rest of other Mandali members. And one day he told me, Adi, do you know? He told me in 1922 when we were in Bombay with Baba, all 40 members under great training, and the place was called Manzil-e-Meem. And he said, Gustaji said, do you know, Adi? I said, what? That when Meher Baba was blessed by Babajan, and then he was inwardly directed to go to Sai Baba, and Sai Baba was there. I was standing nearby. At that time he was a disciple of Sai Baba, Gustaji. He was standing nearby, and Meher Baba went to Sai Baba and just bowed down before him. And when he raised his head, Sai Baba says, Parvatigar, that means you are God. I heard Gustaji say this. I did not much pay any attention. I said, maybe he may have said it. What is it? It is all right. But I took a mental note of it. Now, nearly after 10 years, this happened in the 20s. Now, another story that happened was in the 30s. And what happened was actually, Upasni Maharaj, with whom Baba lived for nearly 7 years, coming and going, not all the time there, and he brought down Meher Baba from the divine consciousness to the normal consciousness. So Upasni Maharaj, whenever my mother was a great devotee of Upasni Maharaj, and I too was, my father and my brother were there. Before Baba came into our life, we used to accept him as the master. And whenever he came to Ahmednagar, from Sakori, a place of his residence 50 miles away, he always stepped into the prayer room which my mother had especially reserved and kept for Upasni Maharaj. One evening, I was staying in Mehrabad in the 30s, and sometimes I used to come home 6 miles away. 6 miles travel in India is 60 miles traveling is equal to 60 miles traveling here, with such an ease. So Upasni Maharaj came in, I went to my house and I saw Upasni Maharaj. When he got off the car, he entered that room. And my mother Gulmai was there, she also went, and I too went inside the room. And Upasni Maharaj was standing, and there was a settee on which Meher Baba's picture was kept right in front of him. And he asks for a tray and a lamp. I wondered why he was asking for that. Because a tray and a lamp are required to offer arti, a song of praise, to the master. A disciple offers it to the master. Now, Upasni Maharaj was the master of Meher Baba, and I wondered why he wants a tray and a lamp in his hand. Anyway, my Gulmai gave it to him, and then he lighted the lamp, and he performed the arti of Meher Baba. So I did not understand. I got very much confused as to what is this. Disciple has to perform the arti of the master, not the master never performs the arti of the disciple at all. And after I don't know what arti that was. That was his own arti. And after the finish of it, he turns his face towards me and he says, Adi, do you know who Meher Baba is? I said, you know much more. You are his master. I have come to know so much of him, but not as much. You know much better. What can I say to you who Meher Baba is? You know much better. He is the avatar of the age, he says. Oh, at that time, what Gustaji had said, that Sai Baba said, Parvardigar, that means you are God. And what Upasni Maharaj has said, that he is the avatar of the age, you see, got me the conviction, but not 100% conviction, it was nearly 50 or 60% conviction that Meher Baba is the avatar. Still I had my own reservations about it. I did not bother about them. That didn't mean I loved him the less at all. Conviction is one thing and love is another. So, although, as I say, that conviction is the finished product of I shall deal on it a little later. Now, I took a mental note, I put these two things together, and it was very thought-provoking for me. Meher Baba is the avatar and all that. And of course I almost got over it. And after nearly 10 years or 20 years in the 50s, Meher Baba somewhere declared himself as the avatar of the age. And I came to know about it. I was staying in my office at that time. And then these three things clicked. And I was so convinced that Meher Baba is nothing but the avatar of the age. And my conviction became absolutely about his avatarhood became sealed for all times. Then I started declaring himself as the avatar everywhere. I was carrying on a vast correspondence with many people, Baba's disciples. And to them I said, you address him henceforth as Avatar Meher Baba, not Shri or Sadguru Meher Baba at all. And letters which still came addressed as Shri Sadguru Meher Baba, I used to refuse. I did not open. I said, you address him correctly and then I will open the letter and read it. These are the three events, distinct events which put together got me the conviction of Avatar. That doesn't mean that everybody has got to go through all process. We are all so different constitutionally, mentally. You see, just as we differ in our face, in our faces, in our complexion, in our attitudes and our attributes and so many things, in our natures, in our propensities, in our samskaras, we all differ, so also we differ. And it is not necessary that anyone should go through all this procedure I went to get the conviction. It may be at first sight. Now let me tell you a little about conviction. That is very interesting. I am glad that this is not finished yet. Everybody wants, naturally, it is very natural. Everybody wants God realization. Are you remembering this? I was afraid. What are you fixing? No, I don't want to. No, please don't do anything without asking. Kindly go and take your seat. Everybody aspires for happiness. What is life meant for? Consciously or unconsciously, everybody wants happiness. And when a man is convinced that the highest happiness lies in our becoming and being one with God, what we call God realization, we aspire for it, we long for it, we desire. Meher Baba says, it is perfectly all right on your part, but do not desire before you become deserving. You first try to become deserving and then desire. If I go on desiring and do not pay attention to become competent enough to receive and get the impact of that what is called God realization, which is every moment prepared to give, if I am not able to take, then how can he give? You see, the act, the transaction as it says is only complete when the giver gives and the receiver receives. So I am in a position to receive it. And for the matter of that, I have to become strong. Supposing that God realization, if we were to compare to a high power energy, great force, so many megawatts, and if that is to be released to you by the avatar, you will get fused in no time. You must become strong to take it. One author has so beautifully said, one poet, क्या बताऊं दिल से मिलकर क्या गजब ढाता है दिल. This is Urdu, sir. क्या बताऊं दिल से मिलकर क्या गजब ढाता है दिल, जिस तरह आंधी कोई आती है यूं आता है दिल. He says, अब तो नामे इश्क से भी सख्त घबराता है दिल, ऐ मेरे अल्लाह क्या से क्या हुआ जाता है दिल. He says, I am much afraid now even to utter the name of the word love, because I have suffered at the hands of love so much. I don't want to go near it. And yet he says, if you aspire for that love, it's such a beautiful love that the universal heart of the beloved comes to you. But you must be prepared to accept and embrace it. And it comes like a cyclone. How can I stand before the cyclone? Unless I'm strong enough to take it and sustain. So Meher Baba says, don't desire for God. Try to become deserving first. Go through all the tests and sufferings. Lead an honest, straightforward life of love for God or for the avatar. And lead a life to please him. And what is the life? Meher Baba doesn't give you any exercise. He gives you the life itself, no exercises. After he gives you the new life, you can go on doing your acrobatics in your own way. He is not concerned with any exercises that you may do, mental or physical. But he actually gives you the life itself. And he says this life has to be changed. Everyday act, every minute thought. And then you become deserving. So what will you do? The best thing is to remember him. As I eat, as I stand, before I sleep, the first thing when I arise in the morning, any work that I do, he doesn't want you to divert your attention when you are doing a certain work. Supposing you are writing a certain article. At the same time, concurrently, Baba doesn't want you to think of him or else you will not be able to do the write-up at all. But in between lines, in between the work, so many moments we lose and squander away. You utilize them for me, and I am there with you all the time. And you know who I am? He says, I am all power, all knowledge, all bliss. मैं कतरा हूँ लेकिन आगोश दरिया अजल से अबद तक बहा जा रहा हूँ. I am merely a drop on the ocean. I do not bother. But the whole ocean is my background. I am the poorest of poor, but my father is a multimillionaire. So anytime I am in trouble, he is there to help me. But you have to love him. You have to establish your link with him. Get established in your love for him. And he is there all the time. That is a very wonderful story, but it will take some time. Shall I say?
Well,
Hmm? Huh?
meeting tomorrow.
But this is tonight. We're talking about tonight.
Praying about it.
All right. Well, let me express a few words of thanks to you all for you all having come from long distances, gathered here, and paid so much of attention to the few words that I said. But bear with me that whatever I say, I do not say anything that I have heard from anybody. I do not say anything unless I have read through authentic books of Meher Baba or directly heard from him. There are many, many things during the period of so many years I have heard from him directly. Practically I should say the entire God Speaks, or maybe the greater part of it, or discourses or any of the books. Much of it I have directly heard, and I never dare to say anything which I have not directly heard or read in an authentic book of Meher Baba. And that is, in that I feel a great happiness, that I would never blame myself for having said anything out of my own speculation. If there is an interpretation to be given to certain message of Meher Baba, I say that it is my interpretation, and these words are not Meher Baba. Anyway, I am very happy to see you all, and I hope I shall see you again. Jai Baba. It makes me feel, apart from all the happiness that I feel in your company, in your attention, in your proximity, in your understanding, and in your love for Baba, it has been really a problem for me. And the problem is this. Please come inside. Can you accommodate yourself? Shift up a little and just give room. Thank you. No, I don't feel crowded. When I see them, I feel crowded. Can I go back a little? Give a little room.
Not really. No, not really.
Give room for better men.
Paul, this room up here?
The more I feel this room packed, the more happy I feel, and the more blessed I feel for your attention and for your love of Baba. It seems I have been all the time feeding my ego and starving my soul, because I get so much respect from you, all your good thoughts, all your considerations. I should not feel a little egoistic about it. Baba is too great for that. But it is said, starve your ego and feed your soul, or feed your ego and starve your soul. So in our life we have to choose either of the two. The supremacy of Baba's love is such that we have not to bother about ego or no ego. Of course, explanations are given, books have been written. We have to just read them, try to understand them, but in your real service to Baba, in your love for Baba, we have not to bother about these things, because he looks after them. There are certain things which we have to obey in our life, and barring those, we are given full freedom. This is the beauty of Meher Baba's love, that he gives you freedom, but not the license. You have to be very careful. You see, man gets so much freedom that he feels to cross all the bounds of freedom and enter the domain of license, and there he makes a mistake. he should not do it really. One poet has so beautifully said, सनोबर बाग में आज़ाद भी है, पावगिल भी है, इन्हीं पाबंदियों में हासिल आज़ादी को तू कर ले. He says the cypress tree is so tall, so free, and it moves, the waves, wafts and moves. With the gust of the wind, he feels himself so free. But he enjoys that freedom because his feet are embedded in the ground. So we should enjoy that freedom by giving the reins of our life in the hands of the one who is for us the avatar of the age. We are so fortunate to be there. And if we hand over the reins to him, just like the cypress trees whose roots are embedded in the ground, and the rest of all freedom we enjoy. And the greatest freedom is from worry. This worry of a thing is so corroding in our life that I have not seen people, the richest of the rich and the poorest of the poor, are not free from worry. The poor thinks that the rich is very free, the rich is very happy. He is not. Probably he is more full of worries than the poor man. So, happiness is not in owning things. It is the attitude of the mind, it is the restfulness of the heart. That is it that accounts for our happiness. But these things also we have not to bother in our company with Baba. We hand over everything to him. I have nothing to bother. But we should know how to hand over. We are not in a position to part with a single pin that belongs to me. You see, I am so possessive in my nature. If I am not possessive about money, I am possessive about woman. If I am not possessive about woman, I have got certain mental preferences of which I am so possessive. So this possessiveness from the outward things goes to the inner world, goes to our mind, and then a time comes when I have seen people giving away their entire property, but they are not able to get over the certain reservations that they have in their mind. And Baba says, give up everything including your mind. But how to give up? Baba says and I listen. That is one thing. For me to give up is not a joke. It is not that easy. But there is one way out. It becomes very easy when I love him. It becomes very easy for me to do anything for anyone whom I love the most.